Yeah, started. Yeah. Shall we start? I mean,
Yes, please.
how many are there? I mean, 20. Yeah. Good evening and welcome all. Today we are having the second session of the Voice of the Silence by Professor Shinde. We will start with the universal prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Professor Shinde, please start the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Muralidharan, and all who are attending this study class. Well, we'll go the very first screen sharing. The Voice of the Silence. This is the book. It has many depths of meaning, and therefore one must study seriously. In the last time I gave that one bird flying and one that quotation of HP Blavatsky that shows, yes, this one. This is telling us 3-4 points. Point number one, each one of us who wishes to understand something of its teaching must undertake his own search and discovery. He should not depend on anybody's comments. Just read those verses if you want to by heart them and then contemplate on it. Then it will be your own discovery. That is first point. Second point, we must remember that why we are telling this, we are following the triple discipline, study, meditation, and selfless service. And this is the book which has unending source of study, meditation, and inspiration to serve. And the third point, as I said, it has many layers of meaning, depths of meaning. And last point, there can be no one interpretation. In the sense, not all will agree upon any single approach. This we are going to read every time when we start our lecture. So these 4 points, first, if we want to really understand the teaching, we must discover ourselves, go deeper into it to understand, because it is the source for study, meditation, and inspiration. One more thing I would like to put before you. What is the opinion of any agent regarding this book? Because this book came to any agent to check its English correction when it was written. Here is that book. I will read it. Agent says, The Voice of the Silence. That book happened to be written while I was with her at Fontainebleau. It is a small book. I'm not speaking of the notes, those were done afterwards. The book itself is what may be called a prose poem in 3 divisions. He wrote it at Fontainebleau, and the greater part was done when I was with her, and I sat in the room while she was writing it. I know that She did not write it referring to any books, but she wrote it down steadily, hours after hour, exactly as though she were writing either from memory or from reading it where no book was. She produced in the evening that manuscript that I saw her write as I sat with her, and asked myself and others to correct it for English, because she said that she had written it so quickly that it was sure to be bad. We did not alter any that more than a few words, and it remains as a specimen of marvelously beautiful literary work. The book is, as I said, a prose poem full of spiritual inspiration, full of food for the heart, stimulating the loftiest virtue, and containing the noblest ideals. It is not a hotchpotch drawn from various sources, but a coherent ethical whole. It moves us not by a statement of facts gathered from the books, but by an appeal to the our divine instincts of our nature. It is its own best testimony to the source where it came. It is important how Annie Besant got inspired by this book when she was correcting. And we are studying now the verses number 6, 7, 8, 9. The mind is the great slayer of the real, slay the slayer, last time we have said. So that is the homework I had given to you. Contemplate on this. Mind is the great slayer of the real, slay the slayer. And these are the, we have studied. These instructions are for those who are ignorant of the dangers of the lower hiddhis. He who should hear the voice of nada, the soundless sound, and comprehend it, he has to learn the nature of the dharana. So he must learn first focusing and being concentrated on a particular objects of interest, objects of meditation. So having become indifferent to objects of perception, the pupil must seek out the Raja of the senses, the thought producer, he who awakens illusion. And then she says, the mind is the great slayer of the real. Let the disciples slay the slayer. This again I definitely explain. Before that, I would like to say, when she says lower hiddhis, what are these lower hiddhis? One must, you can take this as the homework to understand which are the lower hiddhis, which are the real moral hiddhis, siddhis. So the hiddhis are powers of various sorts: physical, psychic, spiritual. The four siddhis of an ancient Indic teaching. Physical ones are personal beauty, long life, good health, and popularity. Presumably, those hiddhis are also what get a when he gets all these, when one is elected as the president of the in democracy. But the psychic hiddhis includes great many powers, such as projecting the mind to make an image of oneself, becoming invisible, passing through solid objects like walls, swimming in the ground, as though it were a water, walking on water, flying through the air, touching the sun and moon, rising to the highest heavens, shrinking to the microscopic size, then becoming extremely heavy, becoming extremely light, discovering hidden treasure, entering into another's body, knowing the past, present, and future, and being free from wants, sorrows, and what we call old age, seeing the play of the gods, commanding anyone to do anything, choosing one's time of death and overcoming the death. So these are the different types of iddhis. It is not easy to go, one must work upon it and see what it is. Then when it says, he who hears the voice of nada, but I am more concerned, before going to this, we will come into those nadas, 7 types of sounds, etc. in the next verses. But here, mind is the great slayer of this, a great slayer of the real, slay the slayer. Last time I gave you 8 cognition and 5 wisdom. At this time I have prepared a chart of it. Do you have, Vimalji, that chart, round figures? No, not this, next. One more. This one, yeah. This one. You look at this, because this makes you very clear. The whole thing is like a oval ground of consciousness, and we have 3 divisions. See, in the consciousness of the senses, consciousness of the mind, relative mind, then the consciousness of the spirit, manasa, and last, fundamental universal consciousness, alaya. Numbers are given. Number 1 to 5 out of 8 cognition. Number 1 to 5, these are the cognitions or the consciousness of our senses, of sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. All these are bombarding from the external sense organs in the form of nerve impulse, action potential on our brain being the tool of the mind. So the mind and brain together, that forms the ordinary consciousness. So it is a relative mind. That is the 5th cognition. What mind receives and how it perceives. Yet how perception takes place in the brain, the neuroscientists have not found. It is a miracle. Only we receive the impulses by action potential, and how it is interpreted, we don't know. The light rays, they come into the retina, and retina sends it to the brain, but how the brain converts into perception, we don't know. And one thing, even if we are seeing the very good scene, and if our mind is elsewhere, then the perception won't occur. So both mind and these impulses which come from the outer world, they must have a synchronization. Then only, otherwise it is a relative mind. So this is a cognition. The next consciousness of whole body must be used. Then that is the manasa principle, spirit consciousness, that goes deeper and deeper. Then it brings change in us. So we change when we reach to that 7th stage of consciousness. unless there is no change. It is a relative mind. And again, we repeat the life after life. And when the individual consciousness merges into the fundamental universal consciousness, that is what we call alaya or yoga. This is what I tried to explain last time, but again I repeated it. So next we will see what next they say is very important, or even in this, you see these instructions. No, this one. Sound, soundless sound. This word is used. So here, silence is required. Silence can be powerful. It is a tuning force, or we can say aligning frequency, so that what we call sound, that noise fades and silence prevails. Noise is in fact annoying. Often it is unpleasant and random. Sound, vibrations that can be heard like music of voice. Noise is different from the sound. Noise is unpleasant, random, annoying, whereas sound is vibrations that can be heard like music of voices. Then what is the voice of the silence? It is very subtle. Inner wisdom or intuition that emerges only in stillness of mind, when the outer cognition, relative mind cognition, goes to the seventh cognition, that is stillness of mind, then that voice of the silence can be heard. So in short, when it says, he who hears the voice of nada, the soundless sound, and comprehend it, he has to learn the nature of dharana. So here, that stage of yoga, dhyana dharana, what we say, this is that dharana. When it becomes perfect, we must have this knowledge of noise, sound, and voice. Noise is the chaos, sound is the music, and voice is the whisper of the soul. Metaphorically, can be insightful as inner intuition, or we can say metaphysically, it is my gut feeling. It is my inspiration, like creative sparks. It is subtle warmings, like gut instinct, like a push towards our purpose. Don't know how we are pushed to our purpose. So this inner voice is like a personal guide. Some people call it as the conscience that guides you how to tune into it better. So silence or calm the mind, that increases our awareness, fosters our creativity, improves our focus, and gives us best to the life of silence. It will give its best back to us. This is what we can see here. And mind is the great slayer of the slayer. Here we have to see one more chart I have prepared. Be aware what you are deceived by yourself. This chart. Be aware that you are deceived by yourself. I am telling you, we are deceived by ourselves because we have allowed our elementals to permit our control. So elementals are permitted to gain control instead of spiritual through spiritual body. Here, theosophical literature, theosophical teaching, theosophical explanation helps us how three bodies are working. Of course, these three bodies are the subtle bodies: astral body, mental body, and spiritual body. I'm not speaking about the physical body. We have kept the healthy physical body calm and quiet, but these astral, mental, and spiritual, sukshma sharira, this is very important. And this plays an important role, whether it will drawn downwards, if the elementals are permitted to gain control. Otherwise, the self through its spiritual body should control the elemental and astral bodies, drawing them upwards. So this is what it is said. What I want to express here, elemental essence is taken into and afterwards is expelled by the mental and astral bodies as the physical body uses food. See, in physical body, we have good knowledge that we take food, and from the food we extract energy by assimilation, metabolism, and that which is not digested, that is expelled out. This process we know. Same thing process is going on in our subtle bodies, astral and mental. Continuously we are receiving the elemental essence, and when we say mind is the slayer of the real, slay the slayer, this awareness plays an important role. One more slide I have prepared to explain. Next slide you can. Yes, this also. See what tragedy. What a tragedy. The body that will rot is pampered. We are giving more importance to our physical body, and we are neglecting totally our astral and mental body. And the soul that lives forever is neglected. And that which is not permanent, that is pampered. This is the tragedy of human being. But actually, soul has taken this body and taken birth on this earth with two kinds of workers. One is the light worker, second is the shadow worker. Both these workers are helpful. If we have this knowledge, then that helps us to make our conviction how this theosophical teaching helps us. Light worker holds space for expansion, reminds you of your light, brings clarity plus possibility, supports you in remembering who you are, whereas the shadow worker holds space for truth, walks into the uncomfortable, transforms what has been avoided, and helps you face what's been suppressed. Once we understand this, then we'll go how the mind is the great slayer of this real. That stream of the mind, once I have given one more chart to explain. Stream of the mind, you have, I think, one more, not this one.
Sir, there is no other chart.
Okay. Then you see, I am telling stream of the mind. It comes from the stream, comes from the buddhi, intuition, and one is the spiritual current, the other is the life force. So spiritual current of life force, either it takes to the illumination or it takes to the material desire, like anger, hate, lust, vanity, then revenge, greed. The natural current of prana takes the mind to spiritual illumination. But the disturbing winds of desires, thought, the material world, pleasures upset the balance and our peace of chitta or mind, it disturbs. So modifications of the mind is chitta vrittis. So different aspects of the mind last time we dealt, when we deal with the mind is the slayer of the real, slay the slayer. So different aspects of the mind, thinking mind, reasoning mind, egoistic mind, insightful mind, that time, last time we have said. The present discovery, mind is the great slayer of the real, about the DNA. Have you that slide? DNA side, research discovery that certain types of music, black color, no, one more is there. It's okay.
Oh, here, it's here. This is the
it is there.
one just telling. Okay, okay.
Stream of the mind, this one. I was explained, I explained
Yes,
buddhi, intuition, and current of life force that illuminates our swarupa. Whereas material pleasures like anger, hate, lust, vanity, revenge, greed, this is the stream of the mind. When we say mind is the slayer of the real, slay the slayer, the natural current of prana takes the mind to spiritual illumination. But the disturbing winds of desires and thought divert it. The material world and its pleasures upset the balance and places of chitta or mind with its modification. This we have to understand. Here all this is explained in a very well. One more slide is there. I am speaking on this very good sentence. The mind is the great slayer of the real. Slay the slayer. This one. This slide, sound is not just vibration. It is information. We are speaking about the nada. One word we have taken from the verse and we are going deeper into it. So researchers discovered that certain types of music physically repair our damaged DNA. And ancient civilization built entire healing temples around this discovery. So sound waves physically interacting with the most basic building blocks of our human life, that is our DNA. Like cells remembering what they were supposed to feel like. Your DNA is listening every single moment. So sound is not just vibration, it is information. So it is said, even if a bad thought came in your mind, don't verbalize it. Don't make it a thought or sound. Otherwise, every cell receives that sound and that worry starts. So next we will go to the next. You see, there are 6, 7, 8, and 9. The mind is the 6, 7, 8, and mind. 9 verses. The sixth says, these all 9 verses, the sixth is bringing about change in seeing, whereas 7th, change in hearing, and 8th, awakening of intelligence, sat and asat, false and true, and 9th, that brings harmony within. These are the 4 verses. They are very important to contemplate. The very sixth one says, when to himself his form appears unreal, as do on waking all the forms he sees in dreams. Very interesting verse. When to himself his form appears unreal, as do on walking all the forms he sees in dream. For example, one master asked a disciple, you go and walk up to that wall and come back. Then the disciple went and came back and asked him, what you did? I observed my mind was walking, stepping step by step up to the wall, and again that body came up to you. Very good. Again you go. So like this, what is it that we are different, and we are different from our body. So when to himself his form appears unreal, as do on walking all the forms he sees in dreams. That is, I am not walking. The walker in me is walking. I am not learning. The learner in me is learning. I am not speaking. The speaker in me is speaking. So once we differentiate this, when to himself his form appears unreal, so this doer inside, as long as this doer is inside, observe him. Then only you become free of this doer, and then you will be free. So deep is the meaning of it. So this is how we see at our body, how we see at our behavior, at our activities, and how we relate with us, then whether we become enjoy it or just worrying about it or suffering of it. Then seventh says, when he has ceased to hear the many, he may discern the one, the inner sound, which kills the outer. Again, here the right seeing, the sixth is right seeing, and the seventh is right hearing. This hearing of that soundless sound, you may hear in different vibrations. We'll study it later on, but I am insisting this, that this seventh verse goes towards hearing. And this eighth, then only, not till then, shall he forsake the region of Asat, the false, to come unto the realm of Sat, the true. When we are always saying mind is the great slayer of the real, slay the slayer. Slaying means this transcending the mind. So awakening of intelligence. Here eighth is awakening of the intelligence. A very good definition J. Krishnamurti gave of this intelligence. What is intelligence? He defined intelligence is a power to see false as false and right as right. So it is the power to see right and wrong. And when you see the wrong, immediately there is no question of selection. There is no question of choice. You come to the right. So false and true, when you distinguish, and to distinguish this, what requires not intellect or any skill, but it requires that power of intelligence to discriminate asat, sat and asat, false and this. And then ninth says, before the soul can see the harmony within, before the soul can see, the harmony within must be attained. And fleshy eyes be rendered blind to all illusions. Here again seeing. So to have right seeing, Krishnamurti also said the same. When you see clearly, there is no question of choice. So seeing clearly. So before your soul can see, here soul, though it has a body and it has fleshy eyes for the bodies, but soul has got its own eye. That is the spirit eye. And that spirit eye distinguishes. And to open that spiritual eye, we call it third eye or pineal gland or what it is, then all illusions vanish. So this, what I want to, then we'll go to the explanation of these. The sound. The first sound is, they have said 7 stages with 7 sounds. Why I am telling this, in the first fragment of the voice of the silence, it is after all a probationary path. One has to pass through hall of ignorance, hall of learning, hall of wisdom. Step by step, he must pass through these 3 halls. Then only he can listen that soundless sound. Even that soundless sound has got certain vibrations. And it is said, the first sound is like nightingale. Second is cymbal. Third is like a cell of mollusca. That is shankha, chank. The fourth sound is like veena. Sometimes you listen when you are calm and quiet. Somebody is flute sound, you can see veena or flute. Then 6th and 7th are thundering actually. Trumpet and thunder. That shake you. That sound immediately shakes you. Somebody may get heart attack also. Somebody, when a bomb blast happens, a great sound. Like that, even in meditation, that kind of sound disturbs you. Sometimes you become unconscious. So these are the 7 stages of the sound. Then also we must remember, I am speaking about this, the first fragment. It speaks not only of the 3 halls, but it speaks about these sounds. So that is what I would like to mention here. Then we'll go to the next. Just explanation. Same, not 10th. 10th we will see later on. Up to, only we are telling up to 9th. Because it is very important. We must remember verses 3, 4, 5 deals with the functioning of the mind. And therefore, mind is the great slayer of the slayer. That homework we have did. 3, 4, 5 verses, they all deals with the functioning of the mind. Have you ever thought how the human mind functions? What is its mode of operating? It is a very simple way we can say, what you see, you feel. Then what you feel, immediately you desire it. What you desire, that feeling of desire produces thought. You think. And what you think, you will. So this power of feeling, power of desire, power of thought, and power of your free will, which you have, all they come into play. That is how the human mind functions. But you do have free will, but it is limited. Although man is supposed to be free agent in nature, HPP said, but Krishnamurti said there is no free will as such. It is true. Like everything happens according to the, not our will, but his will. So in the Voice of the Silence, we are told that in this sense, mind is the Raja of the senses. So we are controlled by the senses. And this word is used, mind is the Raja of the senses. He is the thought producer. And he is the who awakens the illusion. Ernest Wood, in his book, Practical Yoga, writes, in yoga, we are to go beyond thought. See, thought is enemy. Krishnamurti told the same, ending of thought. He spoke about this. And again, same. In yoga, we are to go beyond thought. Ernest Wood says. Further, he says, to know things in their relations to primary unity. So if you want to realize the unity of all life, you have to go beyond thought. That is what Ernest Wood writes in the Practical Yoga book. You can read that Practical Yoga book by Ernest Wood. So HPB says, still the mind first. That is what she has said in one of the verses. So the verses 6 to 10 and further 11 to 13 deals with the nature of experience. What happens when we begin to practice observing our own mind, giving training to the mind, when we started this practice of dharana. So all this, then when you feel yourself, form appears unreal, and all forms which are walking around us, they are all dreams. How can you say this? And it is very interesting to know Sat and Asat. So when he has ceased to hear the many, seventh says, when he ceased to hear the many, he may discern the one, the inner sound which kills the outer. So here, this inner sound which kills the outer, it can be explained. If man will listen to the voice of the wisdom, he will become increasingly master of himself and also of his life. Why? Because he has that power to decide what is right. So he becomes master of himself and master of his life when he listens to the voice of the wisdom. And then the inner sound. Of course, this inner sound is of Buddhic consciousness. It is only then will put a stop to the outer glamour which directs the worldly activities of everyday life. So when we awaken to a higher and broader life, we are in this world to learn that. We must awaken to that broader life. And life is definitely a school. But we begin in kindergarten to learn our ABCs of life. Then we later gradually become a graduate in the course of time with full knowledge of ourselves and the knowledge of the world. Knowledge of the world about us, the world around us. And we become full of knowledge with added knowledge of what lies behind this terrific urge to know. So, freedom from the known, Krishnamurti says, but we have this desire and we want to gather knowledge. That is the stage, learning stage. Then the 8th verse says, then only, not till then, shall he forsake the region of Asat, the false, to come unto the realm of Sat, the true study of 7 principles. Here we have to study actually Sat and Asat. See, Sat and Asat, real and unreal, right and wrong, importance and unimportant, useful, not useful, true, false, selfish, unselfish. One of the Taoist master, Taoist master tells, he had a dream. Here one dream appears somewhere, dream is there, word. Yes, the 6th, he sees in dreams. All forms he sees in dreams. 6th verse, dream. So here, I remember the Taoist master asked, he had a dream and he saw a butterfly in his dream. Then, when he woke up, then he began to think, I don't know whether I am a man dreaming a butterfly or I am a butterfly dreaming now a man. This is how, when to himself his form appears unreal, on waking, all the forms he sees in a dream. It is really something relative. We think we are awake, but perhaps our waking is really a sleep of spirit. And when we truly become awake to the spirit within, that is really wake up from the dream of life. And that needs to be questioned by everyone. It is many times repeated in our lecture. Buddha is one who is awake to his spirit. So all these 6 to 8, they all come in the realm of Sat. We need to transcend the distinction between real, unreal, inner, outer, harmony, discord, waking, dreaming, false, true, reality, illusion, one from many. We can see, and also we can have a blind soul and image. So many whys and silence, all this comes. Then the 8th says, then only, not till then, shall he forsake the region of Asat, the false, to come unto the realm of Sat, the true. So Asat means not real. Until man is able to hear the inner voice of conscience and look upon life from the standpoint of the higher planes, he has no real grasp of the truth. Here I am asking to study the seven principles of man. The theosophical literature helps to understand this, because we have to pass through these seven principles. First principle is the physical body. All principles are important. Just like seven tattvas. The first tattva is the Prithvi tattva, then Jala tattva, then Agni tattva, then Vayu tattva, then the Akash tattva. From Akash tattva, the Guru tattva. Guru is required. And from Guru tattva to the Brahma tattva. So like this, one by one, we have to raise. The first principle is our physical body, which is molecular. Second principle is our sensory body, which has electronics. Third principle is vitality, which takes this vitality from the sun. Fourth principle is emotional desires. And fifth principle is the mind, personal ego. So mind is the slayer of the real, slay the slayer. This is the personal ego, fifth principle. But the sixth principle is the Buddhic principle, intuition. It is abstraction. And Manasa is the higher mind, higher self. And Atma is the seventh principle, spiritual will. So reality is, Sat is from 6 to 7. 6 and 7 is the realm of Sat. And all below is the realm of Asat. And we are still in the realm of Asat. Unless we raise to the sixth principle, Buddhic principle, abstraction, from the concrete mind to abstract mind, from lower mind to higher mind. So this is very important, because Nada, Sat, that. These are the terms. Nada, Sat, that, Tat. So all these, not simple words. They have deeper meaning. The absolute God, substance and spirit, the one life, which is omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscience. So we use these terms, and this is all explained in our theosophical literature. Even colors are also given. Mineral kingdom color is red, vegetable kingdom color is orange, then comes the energy kingdom, then comes the animal kingdom, which is green, human kingdom is blue, and Asat is all illusion. We are having 112th conference, South India conference, where we are speaking about the illusions. Unless we are free from the illusions, how can we approach to the Sat? So before the soul can see, the harmony within must be attained. So how can the harmony within be attained is very important, because to be able to hear the still small voice within, one must learn to still the whole man. That is very important. This is one of the first lessons in seeking to treat the path, that subduing the personality so that the channel between it and the ego be opened and widened. The mind must be free to study, because it is the bridge linking the lower part of the man to his higher self. It is only when personal desires completely cease to influence, then the voices from the outer world will no longer command you. And this is very important. Before the soul can see, the harmony within must be attained and fleshy eyes be rendered. I think we'll go to the next conclusion. Am I late? I'm not late, no? Still time is there.
Time is there, sir. Yes.
Okay, I will sum up now.
Okay, sir.
Just because, this is the, 2nd April. We celebrate as the Hanuman Jayanti. Today is the Hanuman Jayanti. We started our Voice of the Silence study on Ramanavami. And today is the 2nd April and it is Hanuman Jayanti. It all happened. I don't know what forces are working along with us. So this is celebrated as Hanuman Jayanti. Look at this Hanuman image. The image depicts Lord Hanuman carrying Rama and Sita on his shoulders, symbolizing devotion and service. When we say that to the glory of divine truth and to the service of the Master, Lord Rama. Rama is the spirit and Sita is the Shakti. Shiva and Shakti like spirit and matter. Hanumana is the field of consciousness in which divine is manifested. So this field of consciousness holds this spirit and matter together. So this is the divine trinity, which is omnipotent, omniscience, omnipresent. So Rama is spirit, Sita is Shakti, Hanumana is the field of consciousness in which divine is manifesting. There is a very good mantra. One must understand the meaning of that mantra, that Manojavam Maruti Tulya Vegam Buddhimatam Varishtam. Manojavam Maruti Tulya Vegam. So mind is faster than the thought. Mind is faster than the wind. Maruti Tulya Vegam. Buddhimatam Varishtam. This he is more than the buddhi. Vatatmajam Vanaretha Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadde. So like such Ramaduta, who is the disciple of the Rama, to him we are surrendering. This is how we are celebrating the Hanuman Jayanti with this mantra. We are surrendering to the field of this consciousness, which is in the beginning I told, it is the egg-like field of consciousness in which all these senses are working. So here there has to be a surrender bhava. Voice of the Silence speaks about becoming indifferent to worldly affairs. Means that indifference word has come before the dharana. That is pratyahara. It will not be possible unless one surrenders completely to divinity, holding the responsibility to take a jump like Hanumana. This is where we are ending today. And I think I would like to give the homework also to work. You can think of these two. What are the two types of siddhis? Everybody should work on it. Which are the two types of siddhis? Of course, these are the attainments. Then, how can we protect ourselves from the adverse forces? So on these 2 points, one must think for a week. And then we will come to the next. I think it is 7:30. Hope if any question is there, you can ask. Otherwise, we continue. It is a study class. We must take it seriously. Nobody can explain. You must discover yourself. That's what I again and again insisting. It is my opinion I put before you, what I have understood. Thank you very much. Vimalji and all who are attending this.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful session. So interesting. So I have a few questions, but I'd like to open up for everybody. Anybody who wants to ask a question first? You can unmute and speak, sir. Or madam, whoever wants to unmute and speak, you can go ahead now. Okay, so I just have a quick question, sir.
Yeah.
The second, number 2, it says you must know the nature of dharana.
Yeah.
You didn't touch much on that item.
That is last time I told. Now pratyahar. Dharana is pratyahara. See, yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, and after this comes the pratyahara. Indifference means being in the world but not attached to the world.
Oh,
That
okay.
kind of attitude must come. It won't come immediately. We are definitely attached to everything. So dharana is like that. It is a kind of detachment, affectionately detached. We should not
Oh,
lose the affection. We have affection towards the matter. We have, that is bhakti. Affection becomes later on bhakti, because masters have told, if you want to come to the master, you should develop that affection. Affection only brings you nearer to the master. So dharana is holding, but affectionately holding, not
okay.
attached, affectionately holding. Means affectionately detached also.
Okay, sir. And so the two things you mentioned, light worker and dark worker, these are both inside us. You mean the elementals inside our bodies are of these two types?
We have those powers. We have, Vimalji, we have those powers. Some of the powers, they lift us. Some of the powers are helpful to adjust ourselves. That is the survival instincts. Body has got its own consciousness. It knows how to be alive for 100 years. But we are disturbing it. So these are the shadow workers and light workers. They are there. I think
Okay.
in that way, of course.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Murli, sir, would you like to close the session? Just thanking, sir. That's all. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry about. Thank you, Professor Shinde, for an excellent session.
Okay.
If there are no questions, can Professor Shinde again repeat the homework? I think it was not very clear. One is 2 type of siddhis. What is the homework, sir?
What are the 2 types of siddhis?
Okay. And the second one was
Second, how can we protect ourselves from adverse forces?
okay, great. I think we'll work on it, and I would request Vimal to do the closing prayer, unless anybody has any questions. So we'll move on for the closing prayers. Vimal.
Okay.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Hello,
who is
sir.
that? Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Go
Hello?
ahead. Go ahead.
I am from Prakash from Gauri Vidnur, Karnataka. Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, sir. Sir, how can we purify our astral body?
You see, astral body is the desire
Hello?
body. You read the book.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You read the book of At the Feet of the Master, and you see your desires of our astral body.
Okay, sir.
And once you understand the desires of astral body, that understanding itself purifies your astral body.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Vimal, can
Nice
you
question.
say the closing prayers? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you everybody for joining, and let's all join together in our grateful thanks to Professor Shinde and to the Gandhinagar Lodge for their effort. Om Asato Ma Sadgamayam Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamayam Mrityorma Amritam Gamayam Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhave Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Okay. Yeah.